So we are just looking at Anne Arundel now.
And we're going to continue to watch that. Again, that's coming up at 8:15. That has an opportunity to expire. But again, as you said, as quickly as it can go out, it can come right back in.
Exactly. And that's part of the issue with this system. This low pressure system is wrapping moisture around. And that is also our primary concern outside of tornadic activity will be these rain showers pushing through. And it's a little hard to decipher what's going on here, but in this green polygon, that's a flash flood warning. And what I'm going to show you here are rainfall rates. And you're going to see an inch plus in a few of these areas, close to 2 inches expected to push through with this system. And these systems are moving through slowly. So flooding is a concern. Outside of tornadic activity, this was our primary concern walking into Friday night. And it does look like it will be our primary concern even rolling into Saturday. We could see anywhere from an inch to 2 inches to even 3+ inches of rain move through. And I do want to highlight off towards the south. I'm going to switch it back to radar here so we can see a little bit better and clear some of the mess here. Off towards Anne Arundel County here, this has been condensed just a little bit. They are starting to shorten it where that rotation is. And so we're going to look here. There's a little bit of a coupling near Upper Marlboro. There's a little bit of rotation. You can see those reds and greens. You see a lot of reds and a lot of greens on radar, but this is base velocity. This helps us track winds, and this helps us know the direction of winds. And when you have winds going towards radar and winds heading away from radar, when they hit each other, they have to find a common ground, and this can cause some rotation. And although this is radar indicated and right now expected to be aloft, there is a coupling there. And once again, this is to the south of Upper Marlboro. I want you guys in your safe spot. This includes Highway 4, Highway 2, once again, to the south and to the east of Upper Marlboro. So if you're in this area, it's not populating cities or towns right now, but if you're in this area or it sounds familiar to you, get in your safe space now. This is the time to get into an interior room. Kelly just went down the list of things that helps qualify and help you determine what a safe space is, but we are dealing with radar indicated rotation here. And you can see that here on your screen. Tornado safety. This is always good to have. Make a safety plan with your family. It's best to do this beforehand, but no one knows the future. So now talk to your family. Make sure they know your street address. Make sure they know your name. Picture what they are wearing mentally. Right now, this is radar indicated, but if this does come to the ground and for some reason you get separated, these are all good things to know, especially the elderly and the young. They need to know these base facts. That way, if they get separated, they can get back to you and they can help emergency services in a critical time span get them to safety. So that's always good to know.
You know, as we look at this very active radar that you had up there on the screen, Abigail, I guess we're also going to have to worry about the concern of trees.
Yes.
Down power lines, because we have dealt with so much flooding this week, and then you talked about flash flood warning as well. You got to worry about those branches, heavy branches with the wind and the possibility of trees. You know, a couple of weeks ago we had tractor trailers that were blown over from the heavy wind. So these are all things that you have to worry about beyond getting through these deadlines and the storms.
And when you, pardon me, when you come into a drought and then you get a lot of rain like this in a small amount of time, that can interact with the ground in a not so great way, meaning the ground is dry, abnormally dry in a lot of the state. Luckily, most of this heavy moisture is to the south of our severe drought area over Baltimore County, Carroll County, and Hartford County. But when you get this amount of rain interacting with abnormally dry soil, it cannot absorb like it normally does. And that could lead to that rain just sitting on top of the soil, prolonging and exacerbating the issue of flooding. You can also see storm drains overwhelmed by the amounts of rain pushing in, and this can cause some issues and hazards on the roadways. Take it slow. Hydroplaning is also a factor. It does not take very much water at all or high speeds to cause hydroplaning. It is a very dangerous thing when trying to travel through rain like this. It is not ideal. I do also want to mention a new thunderstorm warning has been issued for Annapolis and for Anne Arundel County until 8:30 p.m. So my hope with this, and I'm still waiting on a little bit of information here from the National Weather Service. Okay, they let us know that Howard was allowed to expire, and they let us know that the flash flood warning is in effect for southern Howard County, which we see in that green polygon there. But my hope with this tornado warning and with this severe thunderstorm warning being issued instead of the tornado warning being prolonged is that they're going to let this expire soon. That is the help. And
we haven't seen a lot of pictures. You know, typically in a system
Yeah.
like this, you see people posting a lot of pictures and videos online. So hopefully that is an indication that we won't see a lot of damage after this storm moves through, because that is obviously something very concerning after what we've seen in the last couple of weeks here in terms of storm damage.
yes, and I do want to mention 2 weeks ago, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, it was shortly after Mother's Day, we saw tornadoes push through. I believe it was an EF0 track through Dundalk. I think it was 75 meters, and it was on the ground for 10 minutes.
Friday night.
10 minutes is all it takes for this to cause destruction. Thankfully, this is to the south of Dundalk and the south and eastern portions of the metro that got hit hard last time. But I know some people are still recovering and they still have some tarps on their house. And so this rain is not helping. If you can, be a friendly neighbor. Make sure that they are okay. Right now, you are not in any danger as far as a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning. So now is an okay time to check on your neighbors, make sure they are okay, and make sure you have community aspects just in mind to get us through tonight.
Once we get through this, do we anticipate more coming through tonight? I know you talked about the deadline time up until midnight, but
Yes.
is this coming sooner or maybe ending sooner?
We are hopeful that it's going to. I am very positive in my thinking that the thunderstorm warning near Annapolis is going to be, hey, this is starting to die down. We're just going to issue a severe thunderstorm warning instead of prolonging this tornado warning. But my hope also with this is we had rain in the 5 o'clock hour, and we had quite a bit of widespread rain at that point and heavy rain. That helped to stabilize us. And I'm actually going to show you temperatures here in just a second. And with this, I am hopeful that we lost a lot of heat and enough heat to help stabilize us. And by the looks of it, a lot of us have dropped into the 60s, rain-cooled air. We're losing sunlight at this point.
And that's a good thing, right?
That's very good. You do not want sunlight when you have instability like we've had throughout the day. That's fuel for the fire. And so since we are losing sunlight, I think the right ground for some of this severe thunderstorm activity, if it makes it over the bay, will be the eastern shore and off towards the north and eastern corner near Essex, Aberdeen, and Havre de Grace, if it makes it that far, because we are still clinging to the 70s. We're still muggy and humid in these areas. And so there's a little bit more fuel for these thunderstorms to tap into. But if we take you back to radar here, you're going to see, I'm going to turn on lightning here, a lot less lightning.
I was going to say, it looks like it's calmed down quite a bit.
That's good. That's an indication that some of these thunderstorms, some of these clusters are starting to lose a little momentum and a little bit of energy. We still have this tornado warning. It's still got 6 or so minutes for Anne Arundel County. Thankfully, we're not getting a whole lot of reports as far as storm damage from the history from West Virginia, from Virginia, and from our earlier system in Montgomery and Howard counties. We are not getting storm reports flooding in at this moment. We still have plenty of time to get some later on tonight, but that helps me feel more confident in saying that I think a lot of this is radar indicated rotation. So rotation in the clouds, radar indicated showing those winds aloft, not touching the ground. So I'm hopeful in that thought, but we still have some severe thunderstorm warnings in the area. So we're gonna keep a close eye on that. Off towards Waldorf and La Plata, I believe I saw St. Charles in the mix there. This area hasn't had as much activity compared to earlier in the 5 o'clock hour. And so this environment is still a little ripe, let's term it, meaning it still has that instability. It still has that high wind potential. It still has that rotation. And so that's why we're still seeing radar indicated at this point, and I need to highlight that. We have not had a confirmed tornado at this point. Radar indicated tornadic activity towards our south. That's why we're still seeing it towards our south. We are still a little bit warm, a little further towards our south, and we did get warmer this afternoon with a little bit more sunshine. So those are all factors in what's going on this evening. And I don't want to skip over this flash flood warning. This is also very serious. Portions of Howard County, the northern tier, in our previous drought monitor, was being clipped by the severe drought. I don't think they're going to have to worry about that severe drought tag any longer. They were pretty well excused from it with our latest drought monitor, but they were still in a moderate or abnormally dry state. So with this rain, although it is very condensed and very much coming in at a high rate, hopefully this will alleviate some drought conditions moving forward.
That's where I was going to go next.
Yeah.
We actually have had so much rain this week. We were hoping that that would help alleviate some of the drought. Again, the rain coming tonight, hopefully that will help us in that right direction. But again, not so much at one point, because then that causes a whole nother set of problems that we're going to deal with. But the radar definitely looks not nearly as active as it was looking earlier today. And even the traffic is moving smoother now, and the rain doesn't appear to be coming down as hard.
Yes, so our eyes will be less to the west now
Okay.
and more to the south. This is where we're seeing more rotation start to form. This is further to the south of La Plata, to the south of Lexington Park. This is not in our viewership, but we still have to talk about them. We still have to talk about the history of these storms, because knowing the history coming into the 5 o'clock hour that these systems had rotation, let us prepare for the top of the 7. And know coming into the 7 o'clock hour that tornado warnings were possible. And I'm so glad that the National Weather Service gives us the history of these storms so we're able to talk about them just a little bit more and have a little bit more confidence in knowing what's to come. Because as much as I like to say it is not an exact science. There are a lot of factors that have to hit right on the mark, right on the target, for these things to happen, for these things to perform. Right now, we're seeing radar indicated rotation further to the south. And erring on the side of caution, the National Weather Service is issuing tornado warnings, which we would much rather. I know we have our Friday night, we have our programming, we have our things that we want to do and want to watch, but your safety is paramount. And when we have things like this, it's important to talk about it, so you have all of the knowledge to make the decision of what your next steps are. So currently, we have thunderstorm warnings, a couple tornado warnings, and a flash flood warning in the area. We are seeing a highway here. And Kelly, if you want to talk about what they're seeing here, I'm going to actually check on BGE's map to see if we have any reports of power outages.
Traffic at this point is moving smoothly compared to what it was about, I would say, about an hour and 15 minutes ago when we actually first started this extended coverage. When we do have a tornado warning in our area, tornado watch, tornado warning in our area, that is when it's required for us to break in and spread the word information-wise to, it may not be, you may not live in Howard County, you may not live in Anne Arundel County, but the folks in Baltimore County, as well as the city and Harford County, sharing the word with them about the potential threat of what a tornado watch or warning could bring to our area.